All right, welcome in Cincinnati Soccer Talk. A beautiful Monday night here in the Queen City as we're looking to put a bow on the first part of the season as we are now in to a the long arduous World Cup break that will mean no FCC for 2 months match wise. That doesn't mean no news. Well, I'm sure there might be some other stuff that come out as far as transfer and other things that could easily transpire during the long break. But tonight we will just focus on the match that was and some of the things that is to come here during this break. I am joined by Jason and Jose. Jose, how are we doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Always good to go to a game and not expect, well, this is going to be maybe a 3-3 tie and then, well, 8 goals. So always great to be here with you guys anyway, regardless of the result, but even better when there's a result like we had.
Jason, it's been a hot minute since we got to talk about a real strong result from the orange and blue.
It has been. And it's also been a hot minute since we got to talk about the team giving up less than 3 goals. So, big night on Saturday all around. And it makes this break a little bit easier to swallow coming off of a high note like that.
Definitely an awesome way to hit the pause on the season as the orange and blue get the big win at home against Orlando. Let's get to our what's hot, what's cold. Jason, I'm going to start with you. What's hot?
Well, what's hot is I'm going to start calling him Kenji Bofadem because he got a brace on Saturday night. Kenji Mombadem played absolutely great. It's always great when you see somebody who's like comes out of the draft, college guy that comes up through the ranks. And I just knowing that he's been on the roster now for a while and seeing him get his opportunity and take advantage of that, playing basically the whole game, 2 goals, just playing, balls to the wall. And he's willing to do anything. I think striker is definitely his position that he wants to play and is obviously better at. But we've seen him play wing back. We've seen him in the midfield. He's a guy that's he brings his lunch pail, and it really paid off. And it was great to see on Saturday.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely awesome to see someone that is coming up, with kind of the young prospect draft pick. Obviously, you want to see those guys get minutes, but when they're able to not only just get minutes, but contribute wherever you need him to contribute, pretty invaluable to have guys like that, especially in a season that's had its ups and downs. I don't know. I'm sure Chris and Pat would say they were expecting this, but it's like, man, it's glad that guy was there because he's been able to step up in a season that's had its problems, and I don't know going into the season if that was how Pat and Chris drew it up. It's like, okay, and hopefully this Kenji kid will help bail us out and really rise to the challenge and play to the competition when we finally call him to get his minutes. Jose, what's hot?
Well, I mean, we have to talk again about Evander. I mean, we talk a lot about him, but I mean, the guy gets a brace. The guy has 3 assists, and he was creating, he was disrupting. Now, yes, we can say that he was playing against one of the worst defenses in the league, but still, he stepped up when it mattered. He helped put away a bad team, which we know how we've talked about in this show and in our comments, in our private comments, that sometimes we just can't seem to put away bad teams. Well, we did it on Saturday, and Evander was a big piece of it with a lot of contributions from others that we'll talk about. So to me, I mean, this was definitely an MVP performance from him. Another one. I'm just hoping that kind of performance, and you can't continue every game of the season being at that level, but I'm hoping that MVP level comes out in the playoffs because I'm confident we'll be in the playoffs.
It's good. I like the confidence. I like that Let's go over to YouTube where BMM1295 gives us his hot confidence. Guys that want to be starters, who are coming off the bench, are doing the work and getting the job done. They aren't letting themselves get frustrated. Yeah, I mean, they've had to go to the bench. They've had to bring in some of these younger guys, as we talked about with Kenji, and it's good to see them contributing and making it happen. Rupesh gets us. He's going to give us both his hot and his cold. His hot, Buka doing it all. His cold, Gidi getting caught on the ball in dangerous places early. Yeah. I think he also just kind of gave up the ball at one point, right?
Yeah.
Right in front of the box.
Yeah.
Pretty bad pass there. My hot, I'm going to kind of side with Rupesh there. But more specifically, not just Buka, that assist from Buka, that pass. I mean, just an absolutely breathtaking pass that he had that kind of crosses right between everybody and finds his man. There's Kenji on the far side, just right there to receive it, and perfectly placed. That's the kind of Evander. That's the kind of high level skill a guy like Buka brings, and that's why he's a guy that's in consideration for a World Cup spot still. Fingers crossed. Hopefully,
let's hope
we don't want to hope for injuries on the rest of his teammates, but we do hope there is an opening for him to hop in and be a part of that final squad here in the U.S. Cold, Jose, what do you got?
Well, the back line, lack of focus or intensity at the beginning of the first half, and yes, also towards the end. But in the beginning, again, we just seem, the team, but especially the back line, seemed to start slow, not intense enough, not enough focus. I mean, we saw what happened with that Gidi major mistake there that fortunately it was called offside. But then, a few minutes later, we had the PK. So that's my call, that the team's got to figure out a way of coming up with maybe not intensity, but a necessary focus for 90 minutes. Not lose that focus, because we seem to always lower our guard at the beginning of the first half or end of the game.
Jason?
Going to echo what Rupesh said, especially late in the game there. It was something like 22 touches inside the opposition's box in the second half for Orlando, 8 shots on target. Roman was standing on his head at times in this match to keep it to only just 2 goals for Orlando. But it's one of those things that we've seen all season, just like Jose said, they take their eye off the ball and guys get caught looking. And I think that's hopefully one of the things that they address this summer, because we can't have this back line giving up as many goals as they are. Lucky we got out of there with just 2 goals, happy with the win, but it could have been a lot worse had Roman not been there to stand on his head.
Definitely. And Roman, I think, again, we talked about it, it was a week or so ago, he had a pretty rough match, but he's definitely climbed back out of that one. He's put together some solid performances they had to have, because the back line was allowing him to definitely have his number called a few times in the match. Back over to YouTube. Let's hit up the chat there as BMM1295 hopping in again. Cold Miazga's clap off after the match. Was it an appreciation for the fans going into the break, or a final farewell thank you? I mean, there's possibly going to be some movement, and I guess that's true. There is a chance that someone very recently has made their last appearance for the Orange and Blue. There's definitely a chance that something could change before the team hits the pitch again in mid-July. So possibly it was Miazga, possibly someone else. Jeff Tebbets over on YouTube as well. Hot Tommy G's palms after all the high fives he delivered to Kevin in the broadcaster's box. His not or cold would be the score sheet in Charlotte. I watched a very unexciting live match in the fake Queen City, Jeff. That's
the fake Queen City. Yes, the fake one.
Bogus bootleg Queen City. My cold actually happened today as Fox did their big U.S. men's roster announcement show, and it reminded me, gave me the cold reminder that Fox is just not great at their soccer broadcast. It's serviceable at times. There's certain people on there I love. Rob Stone's great. Some other people are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of fluff, a lot of who cares, a lot of, I know they have to kind of owe broad appeal on this stuff because everybody's tuning in, but oh gosh, ESPN, please get the contract back. That is our.
You should talk to FIFA because FIFA gave it to Fox with pretty much like here. There was no bid.
I'm not looking forward to having to download the Fox One app for the World Cup.
Oh, can't wait.
Yeah,
I am watching
How does one of the biggest networks in the country have the most janky bootleg app still in 2026?
And they've been doing pro sports now for what, 30 years?
Yeah. It's not a new thing for them. And yet here we are. Everyone else has like if it's an ABC ESPN thing, you got that. You got the Hulu package with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Paramount used to be a trash fire. It's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
That app is fine. Yes. Peacock app is fine.
Yes.
The Fox One app, trash. Continually trash.
I'll be watching on Telemundo, guys, in Spanish.
Because gosh,
that's
one of those moments where I wish I took Spanish.
I cannot stand that Lalas guy, so I'm going Spanish all the way this time. And it's cheaper.
Okay. Yeah, he's just the tip of the iceberg of that problem. Yeah. All right. That was our What's Hot, What's Cold, brought to you by our friends at Apollo Home. For a limited time, take advantage of Apollo's spring deal, a new AC unit for as low as $99 per month. Stay cold when it's hot and hot when it's cold with Apollo Home. Let's get into the match. Your final score, FC Cincinnati 6, Orlando City 2. Your lineup was Celentano in goal, Guidi, Miazga, and Kyle Smith on the back line, Buca and Ramirez as your wing backs, Dotto and Obi and Evander in the midfield with, and see, they had it. They kind of went with some different stuff on FOTMOB. I'm noticing they went against the grain here as they kind of tried to make it a 3-4-2-1 formation. That's not what it was. It was Kenji and Kevin Danke up top.
Yeah.
Once again, I feel like it's every single match. What's that back line going to be? Who are we rolling out there? What 3 names did we just jot down on the roster sheet there? So you have Guidi making another appearance on the back line. Matt Miazga, obviously that's where you expect him to be. And then Kyle Smith, another guy who has kind of been thrown into this role. We originally thought he was going to be brought in as mainly just that backup wingback position. But he once again finds himself with another start on that back line. Jason, your initial thoughts on that?
I was, again, just kind of, here we go again. What are we doing on the back line? I was not surprised because with the leak of the World Cup roster, I don't think anybody expected Miles to be anywhere near TQL Stadium on Saturday night to keep him safe and secure for the World Cup. I will say I like Guidi a lot. He is clearly not a center back. He is not. Rupesh brought it up in the chat. He gets out of position quite a bit. He gets a little slow on his feet. At the defending midfield, I love him. I think he does a wonderful job at that position.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I maybe would like to see? Let's flip it. Let's maybe put Obi in the center back position and move Guidi up. Because if we're going to move a defending midfielder back, I'd rather it be the more experienced guy doing that.
Sure.
What I'm
Yeah,
afraid is that he'll start accumulating yellow cards, man. Obi.
Yeah, he might not be long for that. That
The
start
PKs
there.
might go up a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is, again, we see this kind of week to week where it's we want to play Gidi, we want to play Buka, we want to play Dado. So it's like, all right, we got to kind of just mishmash these guys, and so that we can get them all out there. We want to utilize all these guys, which means that several of them are going to be playing in positions that they're not meant to be playing on paper. So I love the fact that Pat sees it how a lot of us sees it. Like, okay, Gidi's awesome. We want Gidi. We want more Dado. We need Buka's got to be out there. Kenji's got to be out there. Like at this point, those guys are delivering. They have to make it on the starting 11 week to week. They look great. They've been huge parts of kind of the what's been good about this team so far in this kind of up and down first half. Speaking of the up and down first half, it was Orlando getting on the score sheet early. They kind of were pushing the issue a little bit there. They get the penalty. It's Kyle Smith. It's funny. There's like the commentator's curse of like, talking about a no-hitter and then the no-hitter happens. Right before Kyle commits the red card, they spent this whole period of time talking about how, he's from the area and he's kind of glad to be playing here, and he's got a bunch of family that comes to all the games now, and they used to go to the games beforehand and they would just wear his Orlando jersey or whatever. And here he is, as it so often happens, you get yourself in trouble with your former employee. They make you look bad as he commits the foul there in the box. And Cincinnati had some good moments there early, and then here we go. It's like, oh gosh, we're already gonna put ourselves in the hole on this one.
And a weak penalty, I don't know, in my opinion, too. A weak
penalty.
That? I think it was a weak penalty too, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was an MLS penalty.
Yep,
is what I would say it is. I don't know, Jose. Do you feel about the same about that?
I'm not sure if it was
for you?
Weak because he did hit him in the ankles before hitting the ball. So technically speaking, then you denied the guy to make a play. You brought him down, but in Europe, that might have been okay. Just keep going, keep playing. Yeah. Like I said, that was an MLS PK, but I have to say that it was also because they didn't cover on the left side. I mean, I don't know who it was that crossed. I mean, they let him cross. I mean, put your body in front of me, do something. I mean, you let the guy get around you. He crossed it, and that generated the play that resulted in the PK. So yes, I mean, Kyle might have been at fault, but we let them cross into the box.
Looked like it was going to be Orlando with the upper hand, kind of a shock result at the moment there, because this was a game that you felt this should be a very not informed Orlando side coming into town right before this long break. This was not what you expected, but luckily you had 2 goals there late in the first half, 42nd minute. Kenji gets on the board, and then you have, we talked about it earlier, Buka finding Evander for the second one. And in a half where it looked like Cincinnati had the momentum throughout the first half. It's not like they weren't getting chances, but we'd seen this enough times where they might have looked good, but couldn't get that final pass, that final shot off, and it's a half wasted. Luckily, 2 goals to the good right before halftime. They go in with the lead. I know Jason and Jose, you guys both kind of talked about this back line. So first half was, I guess, okay. Obviously, committing a foul in the box, not what you're looking to do. But on the whole, a decent first half by FC Cincinnati, especially when they were able to get the goals there. Jason, you kind of your initial thoughts just on how that half went.
Yeah, it was a great first half. Buka, I mean, we've sung his praises so far. we talked about that wonderful pass. The thing I want to point out too, because he did it again in the second half, on that play from Buka to Evander, notice how Kevin Denke stops his run. It was a complete full team buildup. And that's what we've been seeing these past couple of weeks. The front line, the offensive side of the house, has got clicking. Everybody seems to be kind of on the same page. And you watch that build up, and then I think it might be Kenji's second goal in the second half, where you've got Kevin Denke running down the middle. He just stops his run right in that arc at the top of the box, and everybody stops to wait for him. And that opens up that far side. He did it to him again in the second half. So, and thanks, Josh, on the back end showing it again. See, Denke stops and holds up the defenders. Yep. And, that's just something that we didn't see earlier in the season. But it's starting to click. And if you can keep getting momentum like that coming out of the break, that's going to be good things for FC Cincinnati.
No, that's a great point, because I think at the beginning of the season, and even there was definitely a lot of points last season where it was like, okay, they scored some goals, but it was a lot of individual efforts.
Yeah.
The amount of team goals and team goals with just great buildup that we're seeing lately from them has been, I think that's why you look at this and go, okay, we may be there in the standings, but I feel pretty good about this team right now for the most part.
Yeah, and that's what sometimes people don't see when they criticize KD. Well, we paid all this money, should be scoring by the bucket loads. Yeah, but you got to watch what he does. Like you just said, you described what he does off the ball to attract players, to freeze them. That has made a huge difference too.
Yeah, 100%. Second half, Orlando kind of fights back right away. They even it up. Then you're like, oh gosh, here we go again.
That was a heck of a free kick goal. You got to hand it to him. That was a heck of a goal.
It was, yeah, absolutely.
But it deflected off of Obi's head.
Did it? I didn't notice.
Yes, yes, it did. Because I watched the replay. Okay, that ball took kind of and actually, you know what? It was actually my wife who pointed this out. He says, "Well, Roman seemed to be going in one direction, then he like went the other one." And so I looked at it again. It's like it lightly touches Obi's head, but enough to just alter the trajectory enough that Roman was already going in a different direction.
Jeff Tebbins thinks you're a liar. Apparently,
he might have glanced it. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, that's inconclusive.
There's a different angle. There's a different angle from the back where you see at least I saw the trajectory change slightly.
I believe you. I believe
anyway. But it was still a heck of a shot.
Yeah, heck of a goal.
Yeah.
Orange and Blue get right back in it, though. It wasn't too much later that you had Kenji scoring his second of the game. Shortly after that, then Evander gets his second. You had, I like the announcers made a great point on the broadcast. At that point, you had 3 guys on the pitch on a hat trick.
Yeah.
So you were wondering when the next one was going to happen. Cincinnati kind of did, they took charge, but they still had some shaky moments still on the back line. I think we will get into that topic a little bit here in a minute when we kind of talk about the summer window and then this kind of this long break and what we could see changing. But ultimately you did have Danke and Barlow getting goals as well. Barlow again getting himself on the score sheet.
Yeah.
Another, you got this guy that you brought in on just kind of whatever money. He kind of looked like he was just there to kind of fill up a roster spot and add a little bit of depth. But he, more than some of the guys that we brought in the past and had much more fanfare as far as being the big, pop off the bench backup striker.
Yeah,
he's outshining everyone here when it comes to that. Like he has been phenomenal. Love to see that he keeps it going and gets himself on the score sheet again. Also good to see that Echenike gets himself an assist. He's kind of been Yeah, and he's been a little more quiet lately, not getting starts as much as we would
Mhm.
expect. So definitely good to see that he's been able to contribute as well.
I think if we played a true winger position instead of the wing back, I think you'd see Ender getting a lot more playing time. I think
Yeah.
it's just been his
Yeah,
defensive, his liability a little bit at defense, and then Buka has really kind of been a revelation at that position. So
Yes, he is.
I feel bad for Ender. He's got a ton of speed and he's really good on the ball, but it's the defense I think he needs to work on.
Mm-hmm.
We seem to have this pattern
Yeah.
of bringing in these
Yeah, don't we? I know.
slippery,
These
quick
wingers.
winger, wingback guys. They look awesome when they play, and then just suddenly, man, I don't really know what to do with you. I don't know where to put you. I don't know what to do with you. And then next thing you know, they're being sold off to some South American club. So that's how we leave it on the season. We wrap it up with probably their most convincing win in quite some time. Obviously, we got to see the offense just in full effect as they were able to just really take advantage of an Orlando side that is reeling, that is searching for a lot more answers for these next 2 months than FC Cincinnati will be. So Cincinnati finishes up this portion of the season in 7th place. So playoff spot, you're right there, kind of in the mix with the Charlottes, the NYCFC. Nashville is at the top. Miami's at the top. Miami's looking good. They also dropped a 6th spot on their opponent over the weekend. But we go into this break now looking better than we had at certain points, when I think there was a lot of moments in this first half of the season where you had the panic button. I think our hands were hovering over it a lot during some of those early matches.
Oh, yeah.
I would say it doesn't feel that way as much, but I don't know. We'll see what we do. I'll check with you guys what you think about this as we kind of look towards this long break here. Before we do that, though, let's do our Go Beyond Player of the Week. Jason, who you got?
I'm gonna repeat myself. Kenji, Mombadem, both of them. It's interesting. I have a friend who works in athletics at University of Dayton, and we met up with her and some friends for lunch on Sunday. And she's like, "Hey, did you see Kenji's brace?" And I was like, "I was there for it." And she doesn't even really follow FC Cincinnati that much, but because it's a former Dayton Flyer, she knew who he was. So big ups to him. We've sung his praises. 9.1 on FOTMob. I mean, you can't get much better than that as far as a player rating goes. And hopefully he can keep it going after this 8-week break, because we're going to need him down the stretch.
Jose?
Well, it's Buka to me. And I mean, we talked about Evander being the hot, but Buka, not just because of that tremendous assist, but he had another assist for the last goal. He was disrupting. He was creating. He was very, very active. I mean, he was a workhorse out there. Now, probably part of it was in his mind that, this is probably my last chance to show off to the Czech team. I know I'm in the preliminary roster, but, maybe they'll see something here and get me a spot. But that's okay. I mean, that is part of the competition. So let me show you what I can do. And he was just very, very good in this game. Again, not just with the assists, but with the role he's playing now. It was kind of interesting. I want someone to see Gidi all the way up. It's okay. So where's Buka? I mean, did Buka drop down? Because I wasn't really watching then. But, you just showed the heat map. I mean, his movement around that side was just tremendous. And his 2 assists and all the work he did in the midfield and also on the defensive side. So to me, that's why I'm having him the player of the week.
No, that works. I'm always in favor of Buka being the player of the week. Since you picked him, though, I will go ahead. Can't really just you can't avoid mentioning the fact that according to FOTMob, Evander had a 9.9.
Yeah, I saw that
rating on FOTMob, which if you know the joke there, FODMAP does basically refuse to give a 10. I think a guy like a year or so ago had like 5 goals in Europe, and they didn't even give him a 10. Evander had 5 goal contributions. He had 2 of his own and 3 assists. It's good to see, obviously, him being the big DP star, obviously making things happen, contributing, and being kind of the focal point of the scoring for FC Cincinnati. That is, those are our Go Beyond Players of the Week, brought to you by our friends at Beyond Exercise. Beyond Exercise is a Cincinnati physical therapy and fitness business that helps people of all ages stay active and fit. They also work with local MLS and MLS Next Pro athletes, and they're the official physical therapy provider of the Manu Ledesma Academy UPSL team. See how they can elevate your health and fitness at gobeyondexercise.com. All right, so we are in it. The summer break is here, and with that, a summer window is to come. There's a lot of questions, regardless of how well this team is doing, of what will happen, how different things will look when this team gets back, what needs to be done, or if this is even the time to do any of this, given the fact that we have that sprint season coming up next spring, and obviously the full calendar switch heading our way. Jose, I mean, if just roughly, if you're kind of in that front office meeting there with Chris and with Pat, where are you looking? What is kind of the emphasis you're focusing on?
Well, I've said this before. I am not the roster guru that some of you are in salary caps and all that. But if I step back and just kind of look at the force, okay, we know that back line needs some kind of reinforcement, whether it's a 3-back or a 4-back. I really don't care, but it has been unstable. It hasn't been consistent. And by that, I mean, the players are constantly rotating for a number of reasons, whether it's injuries, performance, you take your pick. So if I'm Chris Albright, Pat Noonan, okay, what do we need to do to reinforce this back line? I mean, are we going to have to sell somebody? Or do we need to change tactics instead of a 3-back? Maybe it's a 4-back. But that back line needs work. I also still think that I love Obi. He's tremendous. He's contributed a lot, but I just don't think he is the Obi of past years, and we need a true defensive midfielder there. Gidi can do the job, but can he do it as well as Obi? I'm not sure yet. I'm not convinced. Maybe if we put him solely in that role, he develops as such. But to me, if I'm those guys, those are the areas. And also, lastly, is how do you keep that trio that is now working well? Kenji, KD, and Evander. Keep them together. Obviously, if Europe comes in and say, hey, we want KD for $30 million, well, okay. I mean, what are you going to do, right?
Right. There's always going to be kind of that MLS unspoken rule of we're always going to do right by the player. And if Europe comes calling, we make the deal, right? So I think that is something that anytime you bring in, and this is kind of how it's been for a while now, you bring in these big strikers, especially ones that have already kind of had European clubs kicking the tires on them before they came here.
Yeah,
that's always going to be on the table, right? That's always going to be on the table that someone from Europe at any point could come with a bag of euros and say, we want them. And obviously we can sit here and heap praises on MLS and the progress the league has made and, the caliber of facilities and everything that Cincinnati has and other leagues and other teams in the league have. When the top clubs in Europe come calling, there's not much you're going to be able to do about it, especially because at the end of the day, this is still a selling league for the most part.
It is.
This is a league where you cultivate the talent and then you sell them off for profit, and that's how you operate. So it's just as much a business decision as anything. So I agree with you there, and I wonder kind of more to that. Does a guy like Jabari kind of look for the exit, seeing that he is not getting not only is he not getting the playing minutes that he thought he was going to get, I definitely didn't going to assume he didn't think that some draft pick from Dayton is going to take all my minutes coming up here, and that I'm not going to be that next man off the bench. It's actually going to be Tom Barlow is who we're going to bring in. So, and not to say that Jabari hasn't been great in moments this season, but
in moments, yeah, sure.
You got to think for him. Your career is only so many years long. You can't spend too long at a place if you're not going to get the minutes. And
correct.
And you do wonder if he's going to try to look for that exit and force himself out at some point, because he's obviously, as much as we like having that, weapon on the bench there, he's got to go where he can get minutes and let his career flourish. So you have to think that there could easily be some changes up top. I think the back line, though, is the big question, right? Do they make moves there? We see this constant rotating cast every week. Who are our three defenders going to be? What's that back line going to look like? But I think that's interesting that you point out that, do we switch? Do we switch more to a four-man back?
Mm-hmm.
And if we do, does that obviously mean change? But would you do that in the middle of the season, though? Even though you have a 2-month break, do you switch philosophies like that? I don't know if you do.
Yeah. It's really interesting with the sprint season coming up, because on one hand, you could look at it like we're already getting ready to move to the normal calendar with the way the transfer windows are going to line up with the sprint season. But at the same time, we are in a mid-season. To your point, Jeremy, you don't want to maybe change your entire philosophy. So it's they're kind of in a weird situation. Rupesh made a very good point that we may not have a defender that other teams want to buy.
That's right.
And I've made the argument now for weeks, because there's been so much controversy about giving a DP contract to Miles Robinson, that really, while that is kind of, maybe you'd rather not do it, really what's hurting this team is the fact that you've got three guys eating up a ton of targeted allocation money in Miazga, Teenage, and Obi, all three of whom, for better or worse, aren't consistently on the pitch and aren't consistently performing. And so the question is, like, you've got two buyouts. Are they going to use them? Is there somebody who might be willing to take one of these guys off our hands? That's what I'd be interested to see, because, like Rupesh, his point, is anyone going to want to pay that transfer fee for a guy like, no shade to him, but a guy like Obi, who maybe he's lost a few steps. He's still a very good player, but in this system, he's, he may not be performing. So I don't envy Chris Albright's task as he moves into this summer break.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just you're right. You look at this defender list. Okay, so Teenage honestly is the one that makes sense, but you got to get someone. You'd have to use the buyout, because I don't think anyone's looking to take on that contract, right? So you have to use the buyout there, because Flores has become a glorified MLS 2 team player at this point, as he's down at MLS Next there with FCC 2. Sharilla's kind of a two-way player still. Hagelin's not really going to go anywhere. He came here to kind of ride it out.
He's FC Cincinnati for life,
right? Yeah. He'll take a job in the office before he ships off to another club. And then it's Miazga. Possibly, do you buy him out? Would there be interest for Miazga elsewhere?
I think you could maybe get a club to be interested in him, but the question is, how much? I could see him. That would be really funny if he went back to Red Bulls. I think that would just be hilarious. It'd be Matt Miazga and babysitting children.
Yeah. Gladly take him back.
Yeah. And Flores is on a U22 roster spot, those are a coin flip, but they're also pretty valuable. If you can get somebody to come in and produce, you're in good shape. So I'm kind of think, if we were to rank the flight risk, I'd put Flores and Jabari up there as my top two, who are most likely on the way out. And then I think you definitely see a buyout for either Teenage or
so.
Miazga at this point.
Yeah.
I think if you're choosing between the two of this, it's probably going to be Teenage.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt.
Been a hot minute since that guy had a start.
I mean, Matt has lost steps, and he's just not back to form. We've seen it, but I'll take him over Teenage any moment, anytime.
Yeah, Matt's even still going to give you that field general mentality, right?
Yes.
So he's at least going to give you that vocal leadership.
Yes.
Which, is something
even though
you
he's
need,
not
especially if you want to
captain.
make those runs.
Yeah.
Even though he's not the captain, he still loves getting up in the referees' faces.
He'll be vocal either way. Captaincy or not, he will be vocal.
He's going to speak his mind. And Rupesh made a good point that Teenage is owed $600,000 for the rest of the year. That's Carl Lindner has that in the cup holders of his car. So I think they can figure that out.
We'll figure it out. Just like the how much allocation money we really have, it'll just be a clerical error, right?
Yeah, I do have some suggestions though, because I've been doing some research.
Yeah. No, that was the next part I wanted to get to.
So a new rumor just dropped. I shared it with Josh. Juan Fernando Quintero from River Plate is apparently talking with FC Cincinnati. He is a midfielder, attacking mid, does play some right mid, 33 years old, transfer value of 1.7 million. So you wouldn't get that much of a hit on your salary. And also, I want to bring this up too, just in case Kevin Denke gets bought by a European club, right? So if Kevin Denke leaves, we lose our really muscly man up front. Mm-hmm. I know who we can get on a free. Adama Traore.
Ooh,
he is available on a free.
He would be an interesting one to have in MLS.
Big and muscly. I think he would kill it in MLS. I really think Traore would absolutely tear it up in MLS.
So now, going back to the guy from River Plate, how many midfielders we looking to have here?
Oops, all midfielders.
This is terrible. Listen, I already follow Chelsea. I don't need to follow another club that just keeps bringing in midfielders and never addresses their back line. I would like to not have that replicated here domestically. So as much as I like the name, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
We're already having to shove guys into wing back and back and center back roles just to fit all of our midfielders we like on the field.
You play a 3-5-2, but it's 5 midfielders and no wing backs. It's just all in the middle.
Rupesh makes a great point, Jason. I don't know if you want to read that for us here.
There's not enough baby oil in Cincinnati for Traore. I mean, look at that. Look at that man. He is a specimen of a human being.
I don't disagree.
The other thing to consider is that, when it was brought up to Noonan that he had, he hit that record, he said, yeah, that's nice. But, I'd really like to basically win trophies.
Yeah.
So he knows, knows that he is expected to win trophies. So if we are to win trophies right now, we have what's starting to become a very fearsome attacking line. So if you're Chris Albright and Pat Noonan, and I'm asking the question, wouldn't your thought process, okay, how can I reinforce this back line? Maybe sticking to the 3 center backs so that we have a chance of winning some silverware this year.
I mean, that would be my singular focus is to shore up that back line. I don't care about our 18th midfielder that we want to bring in or more depth up top. We need to shore up that back line because at the moment, I think we're firing on maybe not all cylinders, but enough cylinders everywhere else on the pitch, but there.
Yes.
And, you look at some of our bad matches, it involves some really bad defending.
Oh, yes.
C1 Miami, 5 goals.
Yeah. One good thing about MLS, though, is you do have the option for the trade, which is not something that other leagues really do. And maybe you could find a situation where there is a team that could use a Jabari or use an Obi, and you can bring in a center back or bring in a legit wing back to fill in there. I think there's there's creative ways to take care of things. Plus, didn't Albright say we have like 2 million or something?
Yep, 2 million.
Of GAM
like
to
that,
play
yeah.
with.
Mhm.
So, yeah. And who knows? MLS might change the roster rules next week.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Who knows what can happen?
Yeah, if Messi cries enough, they might say, "Yeah, okay, let's get rid of everything. Just
Or they
spend
could-
whatever you want."
Or they could do my domestic designated player rule, my Diamond Dallas Page rule. Just open up a DP
DDP.
spot. Yeah, my DDP. Open up my the spot for national team players, and that way you
Yeah.
can bring back. Because I think honestly, like Pulisic is probably coming back sooner rather than later. Some of these guys that are
Looks
on
like
kind
he'll
of
be on the
way
move
out.
this summer. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are options there that maybe we're not even seeing.
All right, let's before we wrap things up here tonight, speaking of rosters, the U.S. men's national team roster was officially announced today. Now it was unofficially announced, like, I don't know, Thursday,
Something like
as it
that.
was
Yeah.
leaked super early. Obviously, the biggest news here for this show is the fact that we are being represented in this squad, as Miles Robinson did make the final roster for the World Cup. Also, was I the only one that didn't get thrown off when they're announcing the goalkeepers? And they go, and our third goalkeeper from Naperville, Illinois. I'm like, well, I know a keeper from Naperville, Illinois.
I didn't watch
They
it.
didn't even pick the best keeper from Naperville, Illinois. Pochettino got that one wrong. I thought for a second there, I literally thought, oh my gosh, they actually Roman somehow got in. Jason, your initial thoughts on this roster that obviously just announced today, but it has obviously been out there for a hot minute now.
Yeah, it's been out for basically a week at this point. My hot take, my initial take, and as someone who has a hard time getting excited about this men's national team for several years now, I am surprised that Diego Luna was left off.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Gio Reyna's parents have something on Poch for him to be included on this roster. Yeah. But it
worked last time.
It did. But I saw people online saying that this wasn't the most talented group that he could have picked, but I don't see where people are getting that from. I think this is a decent roster. It's not like we're winning the World Cup. We're going to be fine.
Yeah, I think here's where I'm at, because a lot of people are like, man, this roster hasn't, they haven't been performing well, and Pochettino's making these just. Maybe it's actually that, unfortunately, and this happens from time to time, I think from a talent standpoint, the U.S. has sort of plateaued.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that next upper echelon of players has really come forward. This is what this would have been had they not blown it in 2018. This would have been Pulisic's third World Cup. There has not been the heir apparent to the biggest name in men's soccer for the U.S. since him. And again, this could be his third cycle had they made it in 2018. Yeah. So I feel like from a talent standpoint, there's been a real leveling off. And you can't really put that on Pochettino. He's not building the system.
Yeah.
He has not created the entire ecosystem that is youth soccer in this country. Like that's not on him. He's just trying to work with what he's got. So I don't put any of this on him. I will say you're right about being surprised about Diego Luna. Know who was also surprised about Diego Luna being left off? All the advertisers.
Yeah.
This guy's like the face of the national team right now. He's been in all these ads, like left and right.
Yeah.
Was like one of the main people featured, even when they were like unveiling the kit recently. And he's not on the squad. So I would say it came to a shock to several people. Some with some big purses that's already spent a lot of money on Diego Luna to be the face of a team he's not on.
Well, why do you think, and I tend to agree with you, by the way, why do you think that the talent has plateaued?
I mean, I think given the system, I mean, not to get like we don't have the time to go way too deep on this.
Yeah, no.
But I think given the system and ecosystem of youth soccer in this country, I think by and large it was punching above its weight for the past decade or so.
Yeah.
And you do see now, you look at some guys like a Pulisic. He's one of the biggest names out there. Look what happened to him. He at 15 had to go to Germany, and got put into the Dortmund system, one of the best academies in the world that cultivates amazing talent. I just don't think, again, without going crazy on this topic, as we have like just a handful of minutes left here, and I think most people just tuned in to hear us, just get all hot and bothered about 6 goals to the good. I just the pay to play system, just the way coaching works from a youth standpoint. I say this as someone who I spend a lot of money into this system with 2 kids that play select youth soccer. I just don't think that I just don't know if it's being done the right way. And you hear some other people really echoing this right now, like Landon Donovan's on a warpath with this right now.
That's what I've heard. I've read.
He's seeing this firsthand as now his kids are kind of getting to that age, and he's going, this ain't it. This is not how this should work. How that gets fixed, how do you undo a multi-billion-dollar industry that is youth soccer? You don't.
No.
You don't. Money talks. So I don't know. It's going to take a lot.
Real quick, the warning I would, if I could get in front of you, soccer is the warning, because look what happened to Liga MX. They neglected the development of young players. They brought in, it's a different system, mind you, but they brought in a lot of foreign players that were not that good. A lot of them are mediocre, but they pushed aside Mexican youth. We have probably the lowest amount of players playing in top clubs in Europe since the 1990s. Wow. And the result is that Mexico has a mediocre national team. Why? Because they did not develop the youth system. And so the U.S. soccer has to look at that. It's like whatever the system is, they've got to put more emphasis on that, because otherwise, going to wind up like Mexico, not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of cautionary tales out there, and I think, again, it's a crazy, big, complex problem to solve, and not a lot of people willing to forfeit the money to solve it.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
So that's where we are. World Cup, who's excited for it? Starts in
I am
2 weeks.
Yeah,
I am.
I'm starting to get hyped.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't for a while because there you go.
I got my sticker book right here. I've already got plenty. Probably way too much money spent on stickers already.
My World Cup shirt is on its way. It should arrive by Thursday, so I am ready to go. 2 months ago, guys, I was like, God, I don't want to watch this. I mean, are you kidding, FIFA? What is wrong with you? What are you doing to the game? Now it's like, okay, you know what? I just remember that article I read once from a magazine called The Economist that I mentioned in our private chat. It was called Beautiful Game, Dirty Business. This was 2014. They wrote this. And yes, it's a dirty business, but it's a beautiful game.
Yeah, I would also point to the John Oliver last week tonight did one.
Oh yeah,
along those lines about. I think it was also the 2014 cycle, and a corrupt, ugly cesspool of an organization. But I'm gonna watch every minute of it.
Yeah. You buy some fighter jets. You agree to buy some fighter jets from France, and then all of a sudden you get to host the World Cup in the winter. I mean, that's just,
yeah. Sometimes it be that way, right?
Yep.
All right, let's wrap this show up. Just programming note: we will still be pushing out podcasts during this 2-month break. We don't entirely know what that's going to look like. I know we're going to do some World Cup stuff. Obviously, if there's any FC Cincinnati news, we will take the time to cover that. But obviously the normal rhythm will be interrupted over these 2 months in the same way that just our other normal soccer rhythm is interrupted. So stay tuned. We will have stuff coming out throughout this whole break, but it won't be the normal business that you're used to. Final thoughts, gentlemen. I'll start with you, Jason.
Okay, bear with me for a second.
Okay, hold on.
I put in the notes Jason's rant about the World Cup. So with the World Cup coming up, I want you all to do yourself a favor. Like, I'm a huge dork, and I love things like Star Wars and Star Trek. And the fandom of Star Wars that you see online ruined Star Wars for me. I'm to the point where I don't even want to like engage with anything. It's getting that way with the U.S. men's national team. So do what I'm doing. Go on YouTube, Twitter, Blue Sky's not as bad, whatever your social media of choice is, and find the people that have like the username USMNT only or Yanks, 11 Yanks to be specific, or tactical manager to be specific, and just block them preemptively. And it will make your enjoyment of this tournament a lot better because, and go on YouTube and do the same, because if you engage with it, the algorithm is screwed and you are not going to have a good time. And I'll be darned if I let these weirdos who have never seen a girl up close in their entire life ruin soccer for me. So just a little pro tip. If you'd like an exhaustive list, please let me know and I will give you specifics. But
the block list. All right.
The block list. It will be, or as Tyler Childers says, the biting list. Like that's your place to go. Just start blocking all of it. Hashtag USMNT, block about half of the people tweeting about that. You'll be golden. So.
Yeah, I think that's just a common lesson in life is to enjoy things fully. Don't read the comments.
No.
Don't read the comment section.
Don't feed the trolls.
Don't feed the trolls.
Jose, what do you got?
It was great to end this first half of the season with the 6-2 win. Yes, we did it against a bad team, but we put them away, like I said in the beginning. We talked about what they need to work on here in the offseason and this break, get the team ready. And personally, I am going to enjoy the World Cup. I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. I am going to immerse myself as I do every 4 years. Every 4 years, something has, well, maybe not this year. No, of course not. What are you talking about? I've been doing this since 1970. I've seen just epic games, boring World Cups too, by the way. I've seen my share of boring World Cups and ones that's like, wow, how are we ever going to do something better than that? So I will be full-blown into World Cup. And by the way, if anybody from TQL is listening here, could you lower the volume of the DJ, please? I'm not the only one saying that, by the way.
He played Foxy Shazam after the game,
My
though.
God.
So I'll give him points for that.
People around me were saying, why is it so loud? And it's not just me. Other people in the stadium were saying, hey, is it just me? No, it's not you. It's everybody. So,
it was very loud. Yeah.
Well, we will pass that note along to the powers that be there. All right. We are going to wrap this up. Again, we will be back at some point and more podcasts to come during this break. Hope you enjoy your break. You can support CST at CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com/support. You can also follow us or contact us with feedback at CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com. Follow us on the lawless hellscape of X at Cincy Soccer Talk. Rainbow and Puppies, Blue Skies over at CincinnatiSoccerTalk.bsky.social. That's way too long. Why did they do it that way?
They need to figure that out.
That should have been a day one fix.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck with you guys over there on Blue Sky. I want to thank our producer Josh for helping us out, playing the clips, doing all the stuff behind the scenes. As you can see, I'm not one to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. So glad I have that. Jason, Jose, I want to thank you guys for joining us. We will be back soon. Otherwise, good night, folks.